It's a great day in SimWorld, everybody. Good morning and welcome to SimWorld today. I am not Marsh. I am B-Ron, and joining me is Rick Blaze this morning. No Bonnet Bros this morning, but look, it's gonna be a good time anyway. Rick, how you doing?
Players only live once. What up, B-Ron?
Doing all right, man. It's good to be back in the hosting chair with you. Let's get right into things, shall we? We got some SWBA playoff action to go over. And we're going to start with the game that happened last night between the Knicks and the Pacers. The Knicks ended up taking a 130-121 win to take a 2-0 series lead over the Pacers. And this was a game where, the Knicks had to come back to do it. Jalen Brunson said they had to find a way to win in this one. And, even though they had to have a great second half, to win the game and complete the comeback in a sense to do it. We feel like the Pacers, one, showed that they can make the Knicks work for it, and if so, two, do you think they actually can? Because now it's a 2-0 series lead for the Knicks.
Yeah, I think the Pacers actually playing pretty good basketball. I'll be honest with this game. Their guy Halliburton did his thing. He was non-existent in the first game, and I think the Pacers. The only problem is this: number 11 for New York is having one of those Boston Celtics, Isaiah Thomas type runs, where I feel like the game is just completely slowed down for him. He's able to manipulate the defense and bend to his will, and he's just on a heater right now. And it's hard to stop a player at times when he's on a heater like that, regardless of size. These are professional NBA players. When they're rocking and rolling, some of the best, they can will their team to wins. The entire Knicks team is playing really well without Julius Randle, by the way. Let's it's like,
right.
And I don't know. This may be a better flowing offensive team, maybe without the big fella in the lineup. We don't know. But it looks that way. But I think the Pacers are playing really good. But the Knicks right now, I can't believe I'm saying, are playing great, led by Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, the Knicks are playing good basketball right now. Like you said, both teams are playing good basketball. But when you have a guy like Jalen Brunson who can go and get you, some nights it's 40 points, some nights it's 50. It makes all the difference when you have a guy who seemingly is reliable for you. Last night he didn't get 40 points. He only had 29, but all the other starters had 10 or more points. So when you have a game like that just makes it much easier on your start. They don't have to do as much, and that's what I think the playoffs is all about for a lot of teams.
Absolutely, and I'll be the first to admit that off season where when New York signed Jalen Brunson from the Dallas Mavericks, I thought that was one of the most overrated signings and paying for a player I've seen in quite some time. I'm happy to say I was incorrect. I was wrong. Whatever they paid, they might not have paid him enough. He's making the New York Knicks relevant again. And no, you would think not Carmelo Anthony, not the lot of not these players you thought was going to be New York franchise key players. It's in form of the 6 feet maybe Jalen Brunson who's putting it down.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild to see Brunson, playing like he is right now in the playoffs, and like I said, 2-0 series lead. We'll see where this series goes, but there are two other games going on tonight. Actually, there'll be two more SWBA playoff games going on tonight. It'll be the Cavs and Celtics playing, and then it'll be the not the Magic, the Mavericks, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Both of teams are resuming their series tonight. Thunder up 1-0 on the Mavericks, while the Boston Celtics are 1-0 over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Look, we know how good the Cavs, we know how good the Celtics are. And they have Jason Tatum, a lot of the other guys over there whose names are escaping at the moment. But the Celtics are a team where, look, they are the favorite in that series, and the Thunder are maybe the favorite in their series over the Mavs. But which one has a better chance of being tied up after tonight, in your opinion? Can the Cavs find a way to get it done and tie the series up, or do the Mavs get it done, in your opinion?
I think the Mavs
If at all.
I think the Mavs had the best chance. I think that's going to be I believe the Mavs and versus OKC is going to be a 7-game series. This game, Celtics and Cavs, I don't think so. It may be a gentleman's sweep. If the Celtics, I have to preface this. If the Celtics are playing Celtics basketball, now we've seen Tatum and we've seen Jaylen Brown go on historic lulls in the playoffs. It's happened before. So, but if the Boston Celtics are the Boston Celtics, this should probably be a gentleman's sweep. 6 games at the most, but they should not be pushing the Celtics to 7 games. I think the Mavericks OKC series does go to 7 though.
Yeah, if the Cavs find a way to push the Celtics to 7, that might say more about the Celtics than it does about the Cavaliers at this point in time. But I do think that the Thunder and Maverick series has a chance to be tied up after tonight more so than the Boston Cleveland series, because I feel like the Mavs can compete more talent wise with the Thunder than in the Eastern Conference series.
Yeah, I mean the Celtics are all but making the Eastern Conference Finals, right? I know everyone wants to see probably Celtics versus Knicks. That'd be a good matchup. I know I'm jumping the gun, but the Celtics, let's be honest, the Celtics are the darling favorites to come out the East. The West is a little bit convoluted now, but the Celtics are the darling favorites to come out of the East. And so everyone will be shocked if not, especially all the money they've been paying these boys and Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Like, you can't get beat by the Cavs with that kind of money on your starting team.
Yeah, right. You can't pay all that money.
Unless you're the Phoenix Suns, then I guess it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You're absolutely right. Pay all that money and to find a way to lose early in the playoffs or not make the playoffs in some cases. Well, look, let's keep it moving here, because last night in SimWorld Prep we had a game of the week that had a lot of hype coming into it.
Yeah.
It was circled on many people's calendars, including Coach Todd Drayton's calendar. But all that circling didn't mean nothing when the Originators ended up winning by 20 points, 76-56 over the Beasts of the East, completing the season series sweep over the Beasts of the East. And there's been a lot of talk throughout the course of the season about this team being really all based around Cooper Flagg and all that stuff, but that really, it seems like it really isn't the case anymore for the OGs. And if you're the OGs now, should we be talking more about you in the respect that this team actually can win the race to 1 now, with the way they're constructed and they're playing now versus how they were a few months ago or even back in December when they first played against BC East and won by a larger margin than this one?
Well, let's not get it twisted. It's still about Cooper Flagg. We're still raising the flag.
Oh, no, yeah,
this is still
right.
Cooper Flagg's team without a doubt. But some of the others, namely Christ Coates is it Christ? Coates. Crispy Coates. I don't know. Mr. Coates. They and some others had some big game last. This is when a team like the OGs becomes really dangerous when their others steps up and have really good games to help out Cooper Flagg. If they can continue with that, with the others stepping up and playing big roles, then yes, their shot is just as good as any to win this whole thing. The knock that most of us had, myself included, was it seemed like for a lot of the season, it was Cooper or die.
Mm-hmm.
It was Flagg or die. And so now I see the other guys are kind of stepping up. If Coach Dodge can get them to completely play like that for the remaining of the regular season in a race to 1, then the rest of the league is in trouble. That's for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think that the way this team's playing now does put them more in that conversation of being favorites to win the race to 1. Because when you look at some of the other race to win teams, again, like Beast of the East, for example, because number one, they're the defending champs, so they're automatically your favorites. At least in my opinion, anyway, they should be until they get beaten. They're your favorites. You look at other teams like SimWorld Atlantis, perhaps Philadelphia Elite. These teams that have Cascadia, even these teams that have more complete lineups. Those teams are more your favorites when it comes to race to one, when it comes to playoff time, because you're not always gonna have your star players playing well all the time, so you need your other guys to step up. So if the OGs can continue to play like this, then they absolutely have a chance to be in that favorites to win race to one conversation, especially with the way the tournament's working out too, because it's not going to be a Originators Philadelphia Elite Beats of the East finals. It's going to be another team from one of the other regions. It might be Beats of the East Philadelphia Elite OGs versus Cascadia or SimWorld Atlantis for a championship.
Yeah. And there's popular talk going around that the team that comes out of the Founders region is going to win the championship. That's the popular talk that's going around. At least that's the rumor I've been trying to get started.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. Do you think that that's gonna be the case, or are you saying to just stir trouble here, Rick?
I've been begrudgingly saying that the Southern region was the toughest region. I think they are a tough region, but in this format, if you had to take a single team out of each region who was the best team or the top two teams out of each region, I think OGs from that perspective. I think the Founders region from that perspective had the strongest region. I think the Southern region may have the best top to bottom, but I think if you go top two, top three of every region, then you have to give it to the Founders region for sure.
Yeah, look, I'm right there with you again. I've been saying all season too, and even before the season, that the Southern region was going to be the toughest region to play in because they had a lot of talent top to bottom, and it seems to be working out that way too. But Founders region, they've got 3-4 teams in there. And let's include Lakeshore in there, despite their recent skid that they snapped, which we'll get to here in a minute. Let's include them in that conversation too, because of how they've been throughout the course of the season. In that talk of possibly being favorites in the race to one, just because we know they can get going at any point in time. Well, look, let's get into our SimWorld prep recap of games that happened last night. We had a good chunk of games. Let's get into it. SimWorld Middle East playing host to Southeast Select, and Southeast Select ends up getting back on track against SimWorld Middle East, winning 77-62. Dexter Jackson had a really good day, 19 points. Gabe Pope, 16 hit his own, and Kendrick Ball just 12 points his way. Good win for SimWorld for Southeast Select.
We have the North versus Lakeshore Drive, and Lakeshore Drive finally gets off the snide at home. Great job grading by Alex Rodriguez, but it wasn't enough as they lose by 2 to Lakeshore Drive, 77-75. D'Angelo Jordan, mama, there goes that man again.
And we just talked about it. Cooper Flag, Christ Coates, and the OGs end up picking up that second win of the season over the Beasts of the East in the game of the week. This, again, was one where the OGs are now in that favorites talk to possibly win the race to one. We'll see how it goes.
Yep. Hey, Yacht Club going head and head, trying to get them a dub. They come up short, though. SimWorld Oceana Beauchamp is out of his mind. 36 points, getting it done. Flotation device, 73-64 over Yacht Club.
6 players, 5 players, 3 players, it don't matter for some reason. Bay Area Breakers continue to find ways to win 78-71 over the Reigning Trays in a Neo region game. Adonis Knight continues to emerge as a potential star with Big Flex no longer being around and the other injuries they have. Man, that was an impressive win for those kids over there. They're continuing to show a lot of heart, a lot of fight, a lot of grit over there. Great job for Bay Area Breakers.
Yeah, I think they have addition by subtraction at this point. Gotta give Coach Pope some credit. He got his guys showing up and playing every single time. He's not using shorthanded as an excuse. I respect that. Good job, Coach Pope.
Absolutely. Well, look, that's going to do it for our show today. Thank you all very much for watching, listening, tuning in. We appreciate you all. Remember to hit the like button on the video. Subscribe to the channel so you can know, and hit the notify bell so you can know when all of our shows, games, streams, and all that stuff go live for you all. We do have more SimWorld TV action tonight. There's going to be a bunch of good games here. The Philadelphia Elite are going to run DMV at 7, AT Aliens and Lone Star Basketball Club at 8, and then Cascadian Showtime at 9. Tune in for those games. For Rick, I'm B-Ron. Have a good night and remember, a good day. And remember, SimWorld is the only place where you can see the game, be the game.
And I like